Thank you for joining us for SIAC's official announcement of its 2019 results. It gives me great pleasure to announce that in 2019, SIAC broke all its previous records and registered 479 new cases. That is a 19% increase compared to the cases in 2018. Of the 479 cases, 454 were administered and are being administered by SIAC. That too is an all-time record, registering a 21% increase from 2018. SIAC has also increased its number of appointments of women arbitrators. Previously, in 2018, the number that was appointed by SIAC was 34.3%. In 2019, we increased that number to 36.5%, and we're very proud of that. We intend to do more in that same direction. Our cases were primarily international. 87% of the cases came from outside Singapore. And of the top 10 users, I'm very pleased to announce that they include India, China, the USA, Switzerland, UK, Hong Kong, and countries in the region which have always been supportive of SIAC, including Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia. We are delighted that so much trust has been placed in us, and we remain committed to ensure that SIAC will provide the best service ever in this field. We have much to look forward to. SIAC will continue, despite the COVID crisis, to promote itself internationally, to educate, to teach, and to spread whatever information we have and developments that we come up with the international arbitration community. The SIAC Academy will continue in full force this year in various cities around the world. And together with that, we will also have the SIAC module at the NUS as well as guest lectures. All of this cannot be done and would not have been possible without the great work of the SIAC management and the team in Singapore. I am delighted at their support. They have worked so very hard. Despite the increasing workload, they continue to give their best to SIAC. I have the fuller support of the board and of the court, and I am indebted to each and every member of the board as well as of the court, including and in particular Gary Bourne, who spends a huge amount of time dedicated to SIAC and its promotion internationally. I wish I could name every member of the court and board, but you know all of them. They are internationally renowned. But I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of them for their unstinting support and for everything that they have done for SIAC. It was a great year, 2019. And despite the challenges that we all know about in the beginning of 2020, SIAC is continuing to do its best. In fact, we will do better. And we hope that our numbers will continue to grow with your support. But just know this, SIAC is an institution that you can continue to trust and rely on, and we will not let you down. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. Things move quickly in Singapore. In less than 3 decades, SIAC has grown to become a global institution with one of the highest international administered caseloads in the world, and is ranked the world's 3rd most preferred arbitral institution. Over 80% of our cases are international in nature, and in the last 5 years, we have seen parties from over 100 jurisdictions. In 2019, parties from 59 jurisdictions chose SIAC. Last year was a new record year for us, as you would have heard from our chairman, Davinder Singh. And we thank our users from all over the world for entrusting us with a steadily growing caseload. In response to this increase in cases, we challenged ourselves to improve our award scrutiny timeframe. In 2019, I'm pleased to report that our average scrutiny timeframe was 12.4 days. I thank our first-rate secretariat, led by the Registrar, Delphine Ho, and the Deputy Registrar and Centre Director, Kevin Nash, for their hard work and dedication. In 2019, we added 14 new court members from Asia, Europe, and the US, making a total of 33 members on the SIAC Court of Arbitration, which continues to be led by our President, Gary Bourne, and Vice Presidents Lucy Reed and Kavinder Bull. Also in 2019, we welcomed a new Young SIAC committee composed of 31 young arbitration practitioners from 14 jurisdictions. This dynamic group of highly motivated young lawyers has doubled the number of young SIAC training workshops around the world and brought them to even more jurisdictions. As a result, the young SIAC membership has grown to over 4,300 young lawyers from 104 jurisdictions. In this fast-paced, competitive institutional landscape, we must continuously strive to improve our user services and stay ahead of the curve. In terms of innovations, SIAC was the first Asian institution to introduce the emergency arbitrator mechanism. We've just received our 98th EA case, and we are close to the 100 EA milestone. We introduced also the expedited procedure fast-track arbitration, and we're well over 500 applications as of now. We were the first commercial arbitral institution to introduce a procedure for the early dismissal of claims and defenses. The SIAC, SIMC, that's the Singapore International Mediation Centre, Arbitration, Mediation, Arbitration, or ARB-MED-ARB protocol, as it's known, a seamless hybrid ADR option for users, was introduced back in 2014. Coupled with the advent of the Singapore Convention on Mediation in 2019, these are part of Singapore's efforts to develop Singapore into a leading dispute resolution hub. Finally, in terms of innovations, in 2017, we introduced a specialized set of SIAC investment arbitration rules. As part of its commitment to thought leadership, we continue to bring the SIAC Academy and the SIAC and Institutional Arbitration module to even more jurisdictions. We owe special thanks to our Chairman, Davinder Singh, and our President, Gary Bourne, for their truly inspirational and visionary leadership and guidance. And we thank our board and court members, our Users Council, and the Young SIAC Committee for their time, their insightful contributions, and their continued support of our various events and initiatives. And finally, I would like to end with a request. As an institution, we have to stay ahead of the curve, as I mentioned, and to stay nimble and responsive to our users. So the request to our users is that you let us know what we do well, what we can do better, and what more we can do for you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be with you, if only virtually, this afternoon. I bring good news because of the extraordinary efforts on the part of everyone at SIAC, including in difficult times. The staff in the registrar's office, from Delphine Ho to Kevin Nash and all of the counsel and others that administer the SIAC cases that we handle. The CEO, Seok Hui, Lim, and Davinder Singh, our chairman, have done an extraordinary job, both last year and in the beginning months of this year, sometimes under difficult circumstances. Their accomplishments last year were exceptional. SIAC, as Davinder has said, again recorded the highest caseload that it has ever seen. In 2019, we had 479 new cases filed with SIAC, an all-time record. Of those 479 cases, 454 were fully administered SIAC arbitrations. Another 25 were appointment cases where we acted as appointing authority. Those figures can be seen in their historical context. They're 150% or so of where we were 10 years ago. 5 years ago, we had less than half the cases that we had this year, 2019. 222 cases in 2014 against 479 in 2019, an extraordinary record of growth over the last 5 years, during a time period when other institutions, including the ICC, our principal competitor, have seen essentially flat or stagnant growth in their caseloads. We've seen a growth in all aspects of the arbitral process. We've seen, as you can see on the current slide, an increase in the number of emergency arbitrations that we've conducted, the number of early dismissals and expedited procedures that we've administered. Every aspect of our case handling, including joinder and consolidation, has seen larger case statistics than at any time in the past. The amounts in dispute have also grown robustly, you can see on the current slide, but our average amount in dispute last year was roughly $31 million, a substantial amount by any standard, and the total amount of the cases in dispute was in excess of $8 billion. Again, very substantial figures as compared to our historical record. Our users, who you can see on the current slide, have not changed that much in contrast. The largest user, as often was the case historically, was India by a substantial margin last year. China, the Philippines, and the United States, as historically has been the case, were among the top 5 users, and you can see our other largest foreign users on the current slide. In terms of case load and the types of cases that SIAC has handled, it's a diverse mix, balanced between corporate, trade, commercial, maritime, and other types of disputes. We've seen a significant number of infrastructure disputes, perhaps owing to Belt and Road initiatives, perhaps because of other matters. You can see on the current slide the number of appointments that we have made in recent years, particularly of women. The caseload statistics for 2019 in terms of women appointed as arbitrators in SIAC arbitrations shows a significant increase over 2018, and it's a subject that we continue to pay close attention to, ensuring diversity among the arbitrators that we appoint. And we're seeing similar types of activities on the part of parties in SIAC arbitrations. You can see the geographical diversity of the arbitrators that we appoint as well. Obviously, with Singapore law applicable in a fair number of SIAC arbitrations, there are a substantial number of Singaporean arbitrators. But in addition, arbitrators from other common law and civil law jurisdictions are very frequently appointed. You can see a detailed breakdown on the current slide. In terms of the applicable law, the governing law in SIAC arbitrations, there's been an increasing diversification in the applicable law in our disputes. Often common law, but in a substantial number of cases, civil law jurisdictions provide the applicable law in SIAC arbitrations. We look forward, notwithstanding the uncertainties, to another robust year of growth in 2020. The current events bring questions about what disputes will arise and how they will be handled, but with the technological benefits of Maxwell Chambers, the experience of the Registrar's Office and of our Court of Arbitration, we expect to be handling a substantial number of disputes, an increased number of disputes in 2020 as compared to 2019. It will take, again, continued focus and creativity, perhaps more than in the past, but we're confident that with the people that we have, with the Singaporean judiciary supporting the arbitral process, and with the enthusiasm of the legal community here in Singapore, we'll see another great year, a record year in 2020. Thank you again for your support.